Welcome to the Book of Balance podcast, where real stories meet real numbers. I'm your host, Patricia Olegui, your bookkeeper and believer that business should serve your life, not consume it. Each week, we sit down with entrepreneurs who've built their dreams from scratch and learned to balance their books, their boundaries, and their energy along the way. Ready to turn the page on financial stress and write your own story of clarity? Let's dive in. Welcome back to the Book of Balance podcast. I'm your host, Patricia Olegui, and today I'm going to unpack something from a recent conversation with Leah Lamela that I haven't been able to stop thinking about. If you haven't listened to Leah's episode yet, pause this one and go listen to that first. Her story is incredible. She's a domestic violence survivor who rebuilt her entire life through skilled trades and is now a licensed electrician and construction consultant. It's a story of resilience, reinvention, and finding opportunity in the most unexpected places. But there was a moment in our conversation that hit me like a lightning bolt. Leah said something that applies to every single business owner listening, whether you're in construction, accounting, childcare, consulting, or selling handmade soap and Etsy. She said, your soft skills will get you to your financial goals faster than your hard skills. Let me say that again because it's that important. Your soft skills, your ability to communicate, build relationships, and connect with people will grow your business faster than being the absolute best at your technical craft. And as a bookkeeper who works with small business owners across industries, and as someone who ran a daycare for years, I can tell you with absolute certainty, this is the missing piece that is costing most entrepreneurs thousands of dollars and years of growth. Today, I want to dive deep into why soft skills matter more than we think, how to identify which soft skills your business needs, and what to do if, like me, you sometimes struggle with the people side of running a business. Let's start with some honesty. Most of us start up businesses because we're good at something. Maybe you're an amazing photographer, a talented web designer, an expert electrician like Leah, a skilled hairstylist, a brilliant accountant. You spent years developing your craft. You invested in education, training, certifications, and that expertise gave you the confidence to say, I can do this on my own. I can start a business. But here's what nobody tells you when you're hanging up that shingle. Being excellent at your craft is just the entry fee. It's not the business. I learned this the hard way when I was running my daycare. I had 2 master's degrees in education. I understood childcare development, curriculum planning, special education needs, and I was excellent at the technical side of early education. But you know what almost broke me? Everything else. Managing staff who weren't following protocol, dealing with disgruntled employees who would rather socialize than supervise children, communicating with parents who had completely different expectations than I did, navigating surprise inspections from the state, maintaining the facade of success in a nice neighborhood while internally I was drowning in stress. All the degrees in the world didn't prepare me for that human side of running a business. And this is what Leah was talking about with construction. She works with electricians, plumbers, carpenters, people who are incredibly skilled at their trades. They can read blueprints, run conduits, install complex systems. Their hard skills are impeccable. But their business struggle because they can't communicate effectively with their teams. They don't know how to lead. They treat their employees like replaceable numbers instead of valuable human beings. And their company cultures become toxic, which, by the way, is why construction has one of the highest suicide rates of any industry. Think about that for a second. These are people who are using their minds and their bodies, which research shows creates optimal brain chemistry. They're doing meaningful work that literally builds the infrastructure of our society. They should be thriving. But because of the soft skills, the human skills are missing, they're miserable and their businesses are suffering. And this is true in every industry, really. You can't be the best bookkeeper in the world, but if you can't communicate value to clients or set boundaries around your time, you'll be overworked and underpaid. You can be the most talented photographer, but if you can't handle difficult clients or manage expectations, you'll lose business to someone less skilled who knows how to make people feel valued. You can be an incredible educator, but if you can't lead your staff or create a positive culture, you'll constantly be hiring and training new people while watching your best employees leave. Your hard skills get you in the door, but your soft skills determine whether you stay in the business and grow. So let's break this down. What exactly are soft skills and why do they matter so much? Soft skills are the human skills, the relationship skills, the skills that aren't about what you do, but how you do it and how you interact with others while doing it. Here's the big ones that matters most in business and actually matters on everything. And it's really communication. This is the foundation and it can clearly articulate what you do, why it matters, and how much it costs. Can you explain complex concepts in a way that your clients can understand it? Can you give feedback to employees without destroying their confidence? And can you have difficult conversations without avoiding them until they explode? Communication isn't just about talking. It's listening. It's asking the right questions. It's reading body language. It's knowing when to push and when to back off. When I was running my daycare, I had to communicate with parents who were terrified of leaving their babies with strangers, with staff members from different cultural backgrounds, with state inspectors who were looking for violations. Each required a completely different communication style. The parents needed reassurance and transparency. The staff needed clear expectations and appreciation. The inspectors needed professionalism and documentation. If I had tried to communicate the same way with everyone, I would have failed. Communication is about meeting people where they are. Now, the next important piece is leadership. Leadership is not the same as management. Management is about systems and processes. Leadership is about inspiring people to do their best work. Leah mentioned transformation leadership versus transactional leadership. Transactional leadership is do this task, get this reward. It works, but it's limiting. Transformational leadership is here's our vision, here's why we work, here's why your work matters, and here's how you contribute to something bigger than yourself. Think about your own experiences. Haven't you worked harder for people who made you feel valued than for people who just told you what to do? I remember when I had a staff member who was constantly on her phone during work hours. My first instinct was to get frustrated and write her up. But instead, I pulled her aside and asked her what was going on. Turns out she was dealing with a family emergency and was waiting for important calls. She was distracted and worried, not lazy. Once I knew that, we worked out a solution where she could take breaks as needed and make up the time later. That conversation changed everything. She became one of my most dedicated employees because I treated her like a human being, not just a worker. The next aspect of a soft skill is having emotional intelligence. This is your ability to recognize and manage your own emotions and to recognize and respond to emotions in others. Running a business is emotional. There are highs when you land a big client or you get a glowing review, and there are lows when you lose money, make mistakes, or deal with difficult people. Emotional intelligence means you don't let those highs make you overconfident or those lows make you spiral downward. Emotional intelligence means you don't let those highs make you overconfident or those lows make you spiral. It means you can stay steady and make good decisions even when you're stressed, frustrated, or scared. It also means you can read the room. You know where your employee is having a bad day and needs grace, and you know when a client is about to walk away and needs extra attention. You know when you need to step back and take care of yourself. In addition, soft skills requires relationship building. This is the skill of creating a genuine connection with people, clients, employees, vendors, and collaborators. Leah talked about this in construction. If you're a contractor who treats your crew like they're disposable, you'll have high turnover, low morale, and constant drama. But if you build a real relationships, if you know your guys' names and ask about their family, show up for them when they need it, they'll show up for you at 2 a.m. when a project goes sideways. In my bookkeeping practice, relationship building is everything. My clients don't just hire me because I'm good with numbers. They hire me because they trust me, because I take time to understand their business and their goals, because they're stressed about money. I calm them down and help them see things clearly. Those relationships don't happen by accident. They take intention, consistency, and genuine care. Another important soft skill is conflict resolution. This is a skill most people avoid until they absolutely have to use it. But conflict is inevitable. In business, employees disagree, clients are unhappy, vendors drop the ball, you make mistakes. The ability to address conflict directly, fairly, and quickly is what separates struggling businesses from thriving ones. When I had that issue with staff socializing instead of supervising children, I had to address it head on. I couldn't ignore it and hope it got better. I also couldn't come in like a dictator and lay down the law. I had to understand why it was happening. They were isolated and craving for adult connection. Acknowledge the human need behind the behavior and then create a solution that met their needs while also protecting the children. That's conflict resolution. It's not about being right or winning. It's about finding solutions that work for everyone. Okay, so we understand what soft skills are, right? But let's talk about dollars and cents because that's what we're here for, right? Soft skills directly impact your bottom line in three major ways. Number one, customer retention and referrals. People don't leave good service providers because of price. They leave because they don't feel valued, heard, or respected. I have bookkeeping clients who could probably find someone cheaper, but they stay with me because I respond quickly, I explain things clearly, and I treat their business like they matter to me. Because they do. That's soft skills. And that is worth thousands of dollars in retained revenue and referrals. Number two, employee retention and productivity. Leah mentioned this with construction, but it's truly universal. Toxic culture drives away your best people and keeps your worst ones. Every time. I've seen it thousands of times. Trust me. When I was running the daycare, every time I lost a good teacher, it cost me the time, the recruit and interview, the energy to train someone new, the risk of lower quality care during the transition, the stress on the rest of the team. But when I invested time in creating a positive culture, when I built relationships, communicated clearly, showed appreciation, my turnover dropped dramatically. My best people stayed and they work harder because they actually cared about the mission. Now, thirdly, efficiency and problem solving is also important. When you have strong soft skills, problems get solved faster, communication is clearer, conflicts are addressed before they explode. People feel safe bringing up issues early. And let's not forget that without soft skills, small problems fester into big ones. Miscommunication leads to mistakes. Unresolved conflicts create toxic environments. People quit instead of speaking up. All of that costs time and money. Leah mentioned that construction companies with better cultures see higher profitability. That's not a coincidence. It's a direct result of soft skills creating more efficient, effective, engaged teams. But here's the thing most people miss. Soft skills aren't just for managing employees. They're for managing yourself. Self-awareness, self-regulation, and these abilities to recognize when you're overwhelmed and need help, the willingness to admit that you don't know, the courage to set boundaries and say no, that's internal work. That emotional intelligence directed at yourself is what allows you to build a sustainable business instead of a burning one. When I left my daycare, it wasn't because the business failed financially. It was because I failed to maintain my own emotional and spiritual balance. I was so focused on keeping up appearances, meeting everyone else's needs, and providing I could handle it all. I forgot to take care of myself. That's a soft skill failure. It cost me everything. Now, some of you might be listening to this thinking, Patricia, this is great, but I'm not a people person. I don't have these skills and I'm doomed. Absolutely not. Leah said something brilliant about this. If your hard skills are exceptional and your soft skills are lacking, partner with someone whose soft skills are strong. This is what Steve Jobs and Tim Cook did, right? Jobs was a visionary with the product expertise. Cook was the operational genius who could manage people and processes. Together, they built Apple into what it is today. You don't have to be good at everything, but you do have to be honest about what you're good and what you aren't. Here's what that looks like practically. If you're not great at client communication, hire a customer service person or a project manager who excels at it. Let them be the face of the business while you focus on delivery. If you struggle with conflict, bring in a partner on who can mediate difficult situations and help you navigate team dynamics. If you're not a natural leader, study leadership, read books, take courses, get a coach. These skills can be learned if you're willing to invest in developing them. The key is recognizing that soft skills matter and making them a priority either by developing them yourself or by bringing in people who have them. I know a physical therapist who's absolutely brilliant at her craft but terrible with people. She partnered with someone who handles all of her client interactions and scheduling while she focuses on treatment. Her business thrives because she was honest about her limitations and strategic about filling the gap. That's not weakness. That's wisdom, if you ask me. So here's what I want you to take away from today. Your technical expertise is essential, but it's not enough. The businesses that thrive are run by people who understand that relationships, communication, and leadership matters just as much as being good at what you do. Soft skills directly impact profitability. Customer retention, employee productivity, efficiency, and problem solving all improve when you invest in the human side of business. You don't have to be naturally gifted at soft skills to succeed. You can develop them or you can partner with people who have them, but you cannot ignore them. The best investment that you can make is understanding yourself. What are your strengths? Where do you struggle? What support do you need? This week, I want you to do one thing. Identify the single soft skill that, if you improved it, would have the biggest impact on your business. Maybe it's communication with clients. Maybe it's leadership with your team. Maybe it's setting boundaries with yourself. Just pick one and commit to working on it, whether that's through reading, coaching, practice, or hiring someone to fill the gap. Because here's the truth. Your business will only grow as much as you do. And that growth isn't just about learning more technical skills or getting another certification. It's about becoming the kind of leader, communicator, and human being that others want to work with and for. Leah's story reminds us that the circumstances don't define us. Our choices do. She chose to rebuild. She chose to learn. She chose to become not just an excellent electrician, but an excellent leader and consultant. You can make that choice too. Until next time, I'm Patricia Olegui, reminding you that the books should balance, but so should the relationships, the culture, and the humanity in your business. If today's episode resonated with you, I'd love to hear about it. Send me a message or leave me a review. And if you haven't already, go back and listen to my full conversation with Leah Lamela. Her journey is truly inspiring. Also, if you're a small business owner who needs help with their number side so you can focus on the people side, reach out. That's exactly what I love to do to help. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you on the next episode. Thank you for joining me for today's episode of the Book of Balance podcast. I hope you enjoyed our conversation and found value in the insights we shared. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss a future episode. And as promised during the show, you'll also find a link in the description with today's guest information, website links, and all the mentions we talked about during the episode. And if you're a do-it-yourself entrepreneur, you can join the Clarity Compass method at claritycompassllc.com. It's a monthly subscription where business owners like you dedicate just 1 hour each week to work in their books, get their questions answered, and stay consistent with their support of a community committed to financial clarity. Now, if you'd like to connect with me personally, head on to my website, oleggy.com, to schedule your complimentary 15-minute consultation. It's the perfect way to get your personalized bookkeeping questions answered and explore how the white glove services can support your business. And on the last note, remember, we are not lawyers or financial advisors. Everything shared here reflects our professional opinions and is provided solely for educational purposes and entertainment purposes only. So thanks again for listening, and until next time, keep your compass set on clarity.